very much
that.
maybe. I think some people could use it as stock. Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly recap show.
No one's seriously making the ocean soup, Caleb.
No, I know.
It's a joke.
Welcome back to the weekly recap show, though. Thanks for, if any of you guys sat and watched through that. But we're going to go ahead and jump in. We've got the recap for episode 5 of chapter 2 tonight. We're hoping to get this one a little bit short. We're doing it a little bit later at night. There's not too much to talk about in this episode. We kind of continue with Thia's thing from the last episode, which is she is currently stuck in this this vision kind of that's being given to her by Narganize, who's a demon who is trying to specifically attack Thia because he is a demon who used to be in love before he became a demon. He used to be in love with the Moonweaver, who is Thia's god that she follows. So specifically targeting her, he's given her a deal. He said, if you let me possess your body, then I will allow you to leave this place, and I can also give you whatever you want. I can make your mom come back to life. I can make you a queen. All these promises, and demon promises, they always have something on the back burner that maybe it was half right, and maybe it's half right, but there's also something that's going to be wrong with it. But Thia figures that out. I mean, she already knows that. She doesn't figure it out. She knows that's what demons do. She has 2 people in her group who are currently stuck under some sort of demon control. And there are pros and cons to making deals with demons in Dungeons & Dragons. I'm not going to say to those of you out there to go out and make deals with demons. It's a bad idea. But
why not?
Okay, so getting past what Zach just asked. Basically, so Thia's still going through all these different horrible visions that Narganize is putting her through, and we can kind of get into some of the specific things, but overall it's torture. He's torturing her as much as he can, knowing that the small group of us that was able to come down and fight had gotten in Anzu and Braun still out on the beach with the giant Uthek. I'll jump into their story real quick. I think it's a little bit easier to explain. So basically, this dragon egg started to crack open. While it's starting to crack open, there's a large group of... I don't know what to call them. There's just a large group of people, people, pirates, there we go. Pirates that are on the beach, coming up the beach. They're smugglers, that's what I was thinking of. They're the smugglers that Braun had been scared of because he got this egg from a smuggler's den. And smugglers use these islands a lot, so there's about 40 or so of them. Uthek wakes up, and Braun and Anzu kind of had talked to him, tried to get them all to hide, but then Uthek's like, why don't I just start running around the island? It's not a big island. If Uthek takes off in a full sprint and they follow him, they can follow him around the island. He can come back around to the front of the island. He's throwing tree trunks at them while they're going, smashes most of them. He walks over some of them throughout the entire episode, and by the end of the episode, the ones that were left that had not gotten smashed by a tree trunk or his giant feet ended up running off. I believe also Braun and Anzu, the egg was hatching and it came out, and we can have Jacob get into this because this is a very D&D. It's kind of like a historical D&D thing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to explain a lot for the non-nerds out there.
Yeah, so basically a dragon was born from the egg, but it was a dragon with 5 heads, each of which having one of the 5 chromatic heads. We will get into that. It's not great. It's not a great thing to know. I don't know if it's necessarily bad yet. But basically each one has a different element. There's only a couple dragons in all of D&D that have 5 heads and also have multiple elements for each head. It's not a Hydra. It is a full-on chromatic dragon with 5 heads. And the ones with 5 heads are Tiamat, pretty much. That's what we know as of right now. It's Tiamat and Bahamut, yeah. One being evil, one being good. So that all happened. So back to where we are. Me, Zygon, or I guess Animus, Zygon, and Lochnar are all moving their way through this temple. They had to dive down into the pool of blood after some gas started to fill the chamber they were in at the top of the temple, just right next to the doors. Doors locked. They dive down into the blood. They drop into a hallway, and once they drop into the hallway, they start heading down the hallway. And in the hallway, they come up to 3 different flames. So the first flame is a blue flame, and it's a spirit soul flame. Soul? Is that what it's called? Soul flame, Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a soul flame. The first one goes into Lochnar, and Lochnar passes out for a second, gets a vision of he and his brother back in the day, being kind of like they're on a hunt or something like that, and he just gets to see his brother, and it confuses him a lot, and then he wakes up. We continue moving. There's a purple flame. That's the next one. It's a little stronger than the blue flame. That one, Animus, ends up getting sucked into him, and Animus sees a large room where they're bringing these each of the people in the Shadowfell. So in the Shadowfell, it's the warlock that enslaved Animus, his people, and many other people, and he's part of a line of people and creatures that are getting brought up to some sort of ritual thing. And Jacob, what was it that was kind of like the ritual part of that? What were they being brought up to that made them?
Oh, you don't know what that is.
But what does it look like?
Giant. It's like a giant 3-dimensional diamond.
Okay, yeah.
You know how it's like this and then like this. And
yeah.
Then this.
So it was a big diamond. Basically, it kind of was like a choosing, some sort of choosing device. If you went up, and Animus watched the creature go up, and they weren't right, so they ended up getting killed, and their body almost disintegrated in some way, or their soul sucked out, or something like that. And then Annie, which is the Kenku that Meryl is currently very good friends with, which is Thia's little sister. Annie was from the school back when we were at Anzu's school, and she is a young Kenku girl who she was brought up. When she was brought next to the stone, she didn't die, and they took her to a different side and walked through a portal with her. I'll get into that as Animus in a sec. He comes out of the dream. Next to him, before he comes out of that vision, next to him is also the other Kenku that he's seen, which is the Kenku from the... fuck me. It's so late. What's the other guild, the bad guild?
The Clasp?
Yeah, the Clasp. He's the Kenku from the Clasp that is with Traxar usually. He comes out of his vision. We keep going. We found a red flame completely covering the walls. Lochnar and Animus walk through it. They don't get affected because they've already had their vision, so it was Zygon's turn. And Zygon comes outside of the house that he pretty much, it's the last thing he remembers when he lost his memory. It's the house. It blows up. His daughter comes flying out, and he meets this demon, and he talks to Fraz, and pretty much it sounds like Fraz made a deal with his daughter before, and then Fraz gave Zygon the choice to take her place, and he immediately took her place, and that is why Zygon has become a warlock, and that is a big part of his memory that he didn't remember. So it's connecting to his daughter a little more than we thought. We kept going, and throughout this whole time, Thia's got a lot of torturous stuff happening to her. It's not a fun thing. We'll have her talk about it. We get to this giant room, and this is where the main fight happens. Basically, we found right before we got to the room, we found there's some symbols on a wall that Zygon was able to read, and it gave us a couple. Do I have it still? It gave us a couple things about 4 golems, and each golem connected to a chess piece. So when we got into the fight, there was 4 golems. There was a clay golem, a flesh golem, an iron golem, and a stone golem. Each one connected to a different chess piece. The flesh golem was a pawn. The clay golem was... I hate myself for not having the notes down. Basically,
it was a knight.
Yeah, okay, knight, and then the bishop
Stone
was
bishop.
And then iron was the wall, the castle.
Rook.
Or rook, yeah. So that fight, we had to figure that out throughout the fight. It took us a little longer than it should have. Looking back on it, I didn't do as bad as I thought. Like, that whole time, I felt so hopeless. I felt like...
we went over an hour on the stream.
Yes. But we did start the fight at, like, 8:40. So, like, and that's, like, usually boss fights take a while. So we ended up having to take each of these golems, and the way they moved was the same as they do in chess. If you don't know chess, go look chess up. I'm not going to explain it. They moved across the board we were on, and we had to guide them across over to where Thia was. Thia was being kept in this tiny capsule, her body like being like formed in so many different ways. Narganai's sitting right in front of her, causing pain to her, and we got all these pieces to kind of move with us while also trying to fight off and survive Narganai's attacks and the golem's attacks. Each piece had to go into a separate hole around Abbi or Thia. There was 4 holes around her. Each piece went into a separate hole, and then she was released. Narganai's realizing that we had not really defeated him, but figured out his puzzle. We were able to get out of that, and that is where the episode actually ended. I think on the dragons, the dragon being hatching. So after the the majority of the party does not know that happened. No. Where we ended was we got out of the temple and we had to smash one of the statues to make sure that
and it collapsed.
That Narganai's couldn't get to us. And the temple collapsed. He was trapped inside as he had been in the first place. So we'll go ahead and get into some conversation. Zach, what's your first conversation for us here?
Yeah, I think first we will start with Abbi. And I want to know kind of what was Thia's thoughts, I guess, on this episode with the whole vision going on.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Sorry, I've had 2 beers. I gotta think a little harder than normal. I think she feels a little hopeless. And like while she kind of knew that everyone was like coming to get her, there's a part of her that's just like, what if they just like moved on without her, or like didn't figure it out, or like they were like not successful and she's just stuck in this fucking shit forever. There's a part of her that's super worried about that, or just like that like her friends aren't gonna come and get her. And I think that's kind of like drawing on her insecurity within the group. Because, like, while she knows she's an important part of the group, it hasn't been made obvious to her very often. And I think she's just like, well, what if I just did get stuck here? Like, would that be so bad? Kind of crazy. And then just kind of obviously not having a good time because he's putting her, like, through, like, I don't know. It's weird because he, like, one of the visions that, like, Jacob put like her through was like her living a happy life where both of her parents were married to each other instead of separated, and like she never saw them interact once in her life. And so like while that's like in theory like a daydream that like she could have fantasized about like as a child, like knowing what it would have been like for her parents to be together, I think it's just like incredibly painful to see like what she would have missed out on. So I think there's just like a lot of like resentment and just like frustration, especially towards like Zygon, who she knows is like kind of on his way with the rest of the other 2 guys, because like at the end of the day, like if he hadn't been so fucking petty about a sandcastle, she wouldn't be in this situation.
It was a beautiful sandcastle.
Shut up.
Great sandcastle.
Like, and see, it's just that kind of shit where it's like, well, the sandcastle justifies Thia's suffering, where she's just like frustrated and angry, and I think she's like got a lot of feelings boiling up inside where she's like tired of all the bullshit, and she's like, listen, I understand that I like to mess with people a lot, but like on no level do I deserve this. And I think she's probably gonna have a lot of feelings, and she's probably gonna lash out a little bit whenever this is all done.
So I want to put something in real quick, and this is more for the group, or the group that's here, Jacob and Abby, because obviously I did not play Animus in this way. I kind of played Animus during this temple thing, this temple dungeon crawl, as a little bit more comical than I would have. And like in his situation, I know Abby heard it, but Thea didn't hear it. In this situation, like I kind of just played off of Zygon and Lochnar, like how Corey and Brady did, and it felt more comical, which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like in a realistic sense, like Animus was not that comical. It was almost like an anime. Like there's comedy, but like there's a lot of emotion.
I would argue that Animus using humor is a way for him to cope with trauma, like something he's learning. Because I think that he sees that Zygon and Lochnar do that, so he's thinking, well, maybe, because like and Thea, yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah, and if you
What
look
do
at
I
it,
do?
like Animus didn't have a freak out screaming moment after his vision.
Know. And I also
So I think that's interesting. He's kind of growing a little bit.
Something me and Jake talked about when I created him was that if I go with a full Screech, it has a chance to frighten people around me. And like that happened at the very beginning. No one ever saw that. It was not on stream. That happened way back. And like I've tried to help Animus dial that down to a point where now he can maybe start using it more as like something like a weapon or something, like some kind of intimidation, but also dial it back to make sure that other people aren't like hearing these same noises. But like I think that's a good point, Jacob. Like this is for Abby to hear and for Jacob to hear, so that my character can kind of go forward. I wasn't playing Animus. Zygon's a completely different story. The Thea and Zygon have their own thing. They have their own relationship.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hardcore beef.
It is. It's
where it wasn't before. It is now.
It was a love.
Yeah.
It's a love-hate, and there was more love at one point, and now there's more hate. And I think it'll just switch back and forth every once in a while. But right now, it's a lot of hate. Animus though, I was really playing him, feeding off of Corey and Brady because it was more fun. But in the situation, I think it's more important to say like he was in a place of like I would play that character a lot more serious under different circumstances, like if like the whole group was there, or if it like I don't know if we had talked differently or whatever, but like in my head I was trying to play it serious and comical at the same time. So
I get
Cool.
that.
just so everyone knows that
I think because like especially because like I wasn't being like trying like kind of the like comic relief that I try to be. Somebody had to do it.
yeah. Anzu's usually a lot of comic relief. Thea's usually comic relief. With Zygon, they usually have their little like their bickering. Lochnar obviously always like a fun comic relief. I don't know if Animus or Braun are ever too much of a comic.
Braun's not. Braun's not.
I do every once in a while.
Braun is a straight man.
I do
like,
every
that
once
is his
in a
role
while
100%.
in the humor.
in certain situations, but I like for the most part I mean I've played he's an edgelord. Let's just say what it is. He's an edgelord.
I'm glad that you're. See, the first step is acceptance.
I've
Exactly.
accepted it recently. Jacob created an edgelord out of me.
You were the one.
Okay,
like,
Mr.
Shadow
Okay,
Villain.
essay of
Slaves,
backstory.
Hey Zach, what's the next thing?
Moving on from that, Jacob,
Mm,
the five-headed dragon.
mm-hmm.
Elaborate.
Okay, so I've been brewing this for about 6 months.
Yes,
Um,
you love to see
6
it.
months?
about 6 months. Yeah.
You
I
lied
was
to
like,
me.
I was like, I need to bring something in. Well, I didn't have the idea of the egg like that. I came up with a few sessions ago.
Oh,
but I was
okay.
like, I need to bring something in that hits real hard and gives them a conundrum. Okay,
Mhm.
so quick D&D lore facts. Okay, so in Dungeons and Dragons, there are two deities that are over dragons in general. So there's Bahamut, who's your good dragon. He's all your metallic dragons, your gold, silvers, coppers, bronze, all the other
Bronze.
ones. I can't remember all of them. That's a funny pun. And then you have
Thank you.
Tiamat, who is the mother of the evil dragons, the chromatic dragons. You've got your black, red, green, blue, and white dragons, right? So Tiamat in her depiction is normally dragon body, 5 different heads, and each head is a different chromatic dragon. Bahamut is the platinum dragon, the ultimate metal. That's why platinum is actually the most expensive currency in D&D stuff. Anyway, so Bahamut is this big platinum dragon. So I was like, well, what would happen if you combined them? So for the people that want to draw art or whatever,
Maybe me. Maybe I'll
maybe.
draw it.
Or me.
So this,
Zach.
this baby dragon, is about the size of, I would say, like a German Shepherd or like a larger dog at this point. And each head, so the body is platinum, the arms are platinum. Each head, the bottom of the neck up to the bottom jaw is a chromatic color, but then the top of the neck into the top of the head, the top jaw, is platinum. So it is definitely a hybrid, and it is definitely weird. And I'm immediately regretting having it have 5 heads, because now each voice has to have a different, or each head has to have a different voice. So that's going to be fun. But and they're each going to have different personalities. Each head has its own personality, by the way. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, and I just a lot of stuff has happened to Braun specifically in the last few episodes that have kind of, like, because Thia's been in this like crazy hell dimension, it's kind of been like glossed over. And we haven't even gotten to the, like, there's going to be such a fun interaction hopefully in the next episode.
The seeds of Braun starting a major point in his story,
being
are
Dragon Daddy,
happening right now. And like Thea having just such a major point in her whole character. There's no argument to this is something so big for Thea's character. A character who a year and a half ago, when we started thinking about it, and we all sat there and we were like, we're sitting in the classic, here's your tavern and here's your characters. Abby's sitting there and her Thea is like, I just want to go on an adventure. That's it. That's her whole backstory. The first time she's like, I've lived in elven villages my whole life. And of course she has backstory with her mom and like a lot of like really solid backstory.
Did I know what it was?
No. And that's
we had to work on that.
But
it was Abby's first time playing,
yes,
so like
but
I don't want people to be like, well, did you have backstory?
Well, no one had a backstory.
When you first play D&D, you min-max your character, and that's it. Like,
yeah, Hunter didn't have a huge backstory.
Literally, Jacob was just like, we need a healer, and I said, okay.
I did offer to Jacob. I was like, if you want to tell them I can be the healer, because a druid can be, and we've talked about this before, a druid can be a main healer of a party if you want him to be.
I was just like, okay, I guess.
Good, though. Like, it definitely goes like cleric, druid, sun soul sorcerer, paladin.
Yeah,
like
paladins are just in the middle for
paladins
everything.
Paladins are terrible,
in the middle
right?
for everything.
The problem with paladins is that they can't do anything specific. It's just like, yeah, I'm kind of a cleric, but I'm also kind of a fighter, but I'm also kind of a ranger, and then I can also kind of be a bard.
But that divine smite.
Divine smite is good, but it only works on certain monsters, so it's like.
All right. Let's get out of paladins. Zach, do you have any other combos for us tonight?
I don't.
All right.
That was it.
Do you guys have any combos that you may want to bring up about this episode?
I'm just really excited to see how Zygon reacts when Thea lays into him, because he's just gonna be like, I don't know, in my sandcastle.
Oh my god, I know. I'm gonna be like, I promise you, like, there was a part of me that was debating, like, maybe don't be so mean, don't lash out so hard. But like, there is no other choice but to lash out and really just give him everything I got for what he just fucking put me through.
I don't fully disagree with you. I want to point that out. I don't disagree with you at all. That is something Thea has the right to do. I'll say one thing. He did kind of try to save you at one point. I don't know. That doesn't help.
Reluctantly at best.
I mean, but once again, it was one of those Zygon moments where it's like he's got this like really like dry humor.
At a certain
kind of
point, he does
situation.
need to be pushed to realize that his actions have consequences.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying to
Well,
be
what
fair.
I think would be really interesting is if Thea had died, like how would... First of all, I think Brady as a person would have felt terrible.
So
He
bad.
would have. Brady, what a sweet boy.
Like I don't know if like so Zygon is kind of a jerk character. Brady is one of the nicest people you will ever meet in your life.
He's so
He's
Yeah.
a giant teddy bear.
He
He's
just
an
lets it all out through Zygon, like
Yeah,
any
it's
asshole
a
tendency
stress
he might
relief.
have.
Yeah, it's a little release valve that he has,
It's so funny.
which I think is hilarious, and I think that he's getting into the character. Like I think all of you are starting to really the thing that I have been noticing, especially since we came back from break, was like cohesion. Like you're all starting to just kind of like know how everyone's going to react when you do certain things, and I think that I'm super interested to see what adding this like this dragon, and there's a bunch of, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff.
we
about
still
that.
have not found Peggy.
We need to make our sessions longer. I can't do this anymore.
Oh,
We
man.
just-
Yeah, we can talk about that.
That's up to
We'll-
everybody,
If people
but-
want to start at 5:30, I can't go later because I mean, and most people can't. But Kimmy has work. I can't be like talking.
That's
all
his
night.
wife.
Yeah, my wife has work.
He's
If people
married.
want to actually get on at 6, we can start at 6 instead of 6:30, which is usually when we start. That is the biggest.
I
thing
would say
can
start
say.
at 5.
Maybe not 5. That's gonna be like
That's cutting it a tad close.
That's a 4-hour stream.
Started
Yeah,
at
but-
12.
If we start at
So-
if we actually start at 6, we will have a 3-hour and 15-minute to 3.5-hour stream every week. Right now, we're having an average of 2-hour and 20-minute streams, which is what I've been editing. So, just to give you some clarification, we have never played a full 3 hours other than like a week like this week.
Yeah, or just like there have been
And
random
because
weeks. here
people
and there.
can't solve. Okay, I want to talk about this puzzle thing. real quick. Okay,
We're not good at them, Jacob.
I realize
Hold
that,
on.
Abby.
Hold on.
I realize
Can
that.
I give some
I don't
defense
have-
real quick? Can I just?
No,
can I
shut
just
up.
say
I'm
something real
talking.
quick? No, can I just?
You've lost the right. to
It's
talk.
just like,
I'll defend
like-
myself in a sec.
oh my god, like, I give you, I can't give it to you simpler because then it's just giving you the answer.
To be fair, this is what, like, at least puzzle 3 that you've spent ages on.
Hold on though.
Yes.
Hold on.
you just could not figure out.
I want to
Yes.
point something out. I just want to point a couple things out. We are not always bad at puzzles. There are times when we are actually really good.
Give me one. Give me one
The
that you were
first
like,
one I'll say
oh, got
actually
it.
happened in this temple. Immediately when we got into the temple, pool of blood, bunch of stuff around us. I was like, we're going in that pool of blood. We're diving straight down into it.
Dude, that was a gimme.
No, it is
because
not.
Zygon fell in. You
No,
guys
it
would
doesn't
not.
matter.
I don't think you guys would have figured out, like, hey, if we drink this stuff, we can
Oh
see.
no,
in
the
here.
drinking stuff I didn't know, but I was gonna say diving into the pool of blood and going
That is
straight
true. We did
down.
discuss that.
I figured that out. I was gonna be like, okay, I was just trying to figure out what animal I was gonna turn into. I didn't get to do that right away. That was what I wanted to do right away, but we ended the stream. That is something I figured out. We figured out a lot of the stuff back when we did the dungeon crawl with the dwarves. We figured out all those puzzles real quick. The puzzles, for the most part. We also got really drunk that night. We had a lot of drinking going on that night.
That's the night you can't remember, dude.
I can't remember with one
Wait.
fight. One fight.
Yeah.
We
We were all drinking, Abby. Don't give me that.
I wasn't. I wasn't
Listen.
of age at that time.
All right.
What a baby.
I will agree. Recently, there's been there's been 2 puzzles. And once again, I want to go back to the chess puzzle. I was figuring it out. I just wasn't actually figuring it out. I had said it out loud.
I was figuring it out, but I had no idea what I was doing.
said the answer so many times, and I was
You
like,
did.
and then I was like, no, that can't be it. Like I was figuring it out, but I was just not putting it into practice. I was like trying to do other things first, working off of.
It's just like this problem that you have as a DM, because it's like when I think of a puzzle, I know the solution immediately because I'm thinking of what the solution needs to be, and then I have to reverse engineer the problem. So
It's tough.
of course, I'm gonna come in and say, well, yeah, it's obvious this is how you do it because I designed it. So there's a little bit of that too. But
Yeah.
oh,
Like,
man.
I can't even pretend. I was so drunk the other night when we were playing, and like, my bad. Not entirely my bad. Partly my roommate's bad.
It's part of our.
Feels.
It's part
But
of.
like,
If you go into
you guys
our,
kept explaining it to me, and I was like,
What?
no.
It's in
You
our
just knew
description.
that like every turn you're gonna do death saves. That's all you knew. That's all
Yeah,
you cared
truly,
about.
I was like, I'm wrapped up in this little cloak of darkness, and I can't get out.
If you're watching the stream right now, you can literally look below our stream. It says about Flagon. There's a group of college students drinking and playing D&D.
Caleb, that's no excuse. You weren't drinking. You weren't drunk.
No, I'm not.
We
saying
only
that.
have one college student
So-
still anymore, so we should probably change that.
Wait,
What-
who's still
what
in
was-
college?
Jacob.
I'm getting my master's,
That's
dude.
true. Yeah, we're all still college age though. I can't quite.
Not a
Friends from
flag.
college.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
could say friends from college.
Yeah, we'll change it. But like, what was the other? It was the temple, the outside of the temple. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was a riddle. I'm stupid for that. I admitted that.
With no words!
No, I know.
There were no
I know.
words.
Just.
It's one
I
of
know.
those
Yeah,
wordless riddles.
I deserve this. It was so stupid. I know. The chess one, I was figuring out, but I was also trying to play with Zygon or Animus was trying to play Zygon and Lochner, trying to also figure it out, and I think I got a little bit I started overthinking it, and it really was a lot simpler than I thought. What was the other puzzle we had recently? That was really bad?
Anzu doing the riddles.
I
Lucky-
figured out those riddles when you asked us.
You
those,
did.
I figured all of them out. I was like,
You did.
I know these.
With a little bit of help. Not gonna lie.
I got.
I don't know.
3
I
out
just
of
gotta
5.
think. I just gotta think of like, what do my players know? So I think I'm gonna do an alcohol puzzle. I'm highly considering doing like a thing, where
I'm a bartender, Jacob. Please
I'm
do.
seriously thinking about sending you guys ingredients to make drinks before a stream,
Oh,
telling
no.
you how to mix them, and then being like,
Yes!
okay, you have to figure out what order to do this in.
I would
that-
love that. That sounds like
that's one thing that I miss about doing like tabletop is that we can't do props. Props are so fun.
Yeah.
Like I can't give you guys scrolls and stuff. I mean, I guess I could with like shipping it, but like that's and like with the people that live near me, I could bring you guys that stuff,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but that also takes effort and money.
Just text it.
Yeah. I mean,
True.
it's like, but like,
It's better. I can't read your handwriting anyway.
Well, no, of course I type it. Gotta do a drive-by there.
I think
That's just
going
not good,
forward,
I
Jacob,
know.
throw another puzzle at me. I'm gonna get it within the first 20 minutes of you giving it to me.
I guarantee you won't.
I
will
My-
take. I will bet you
will-
like $100.
I will
that
bet
you won't.
you an
My goal-
inspiration point.
My goal for the end of this campaign is to learn how to do a puzzle. To like
How to
successfully do a puzzle
You put a
in less than an hour.
you put a 1,000-piece puzzle in front of me. There's no way. I can't.
Well, that's insane.
Incapable. No, a 10-piece puzzle. In 10-piece
Caleb,
puzzle,
I bet
no
you
way.
money that I could make a puzzle and you will not.
Oh
be
well,
able to
hold
do
on,
it.
hold on. It's got to be the same level of puzzles that you.
Can
Yeah.
we do a one shot where you just send like each of us on like a puzzle quest of some sort?
Oh god,
That'd be hilarious.
let's just okay. Maybe we don't do puzzles for a while.
I think we need to keep doing them. We just need to like separately in our free time all do like Sudoku and brand teasers.
Well, so like I was joking. I don't know if this was on stream or not, but like the final big bad just needs to be like, and now this puzzle or the world
No, that was on
ends,
stream.
and just
yeah.
be like, oh man.
Yeah,
Oh god.
I
seriously-
genuinely think we would lose the campaign and
Yeah, I
end
think
the
that'd
world.
be hilarious. It's like Doors, but puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be it. Well, let's go ahead and end this stream. We've talked about puzzles.
Oh wait. Okay, so while Caleb was doing the summary, I looked up cooking with ocean water.
No.
Oh.
We don't need
Okay.
to end it
100%
like
a
this.
thing.
We don't need it.
100% a thing.
I know.
The ancient Romans would make seafood stews out of ocean
But
water.
you make it out of it is not already a stew or soup.
Well, again, once I'm saying
could be a
ocean
stock.
water
It could be
is
a stock. It could be a stock. No, I'm not doing this. We're doing it. It's the
Okay,
end of the stream. No, it's the end of
So
the stream.
the ocean has water, has seasoning, salt.
Ocean
I mean,
seasoning.
and minerals. There's minerals in it.
Wait, it has meat, so
Uh-huh.
all that, right? It has vegetables, seaweed, and all that.
But you can't eat
Yeah.
it straight.
It has added ingredients from a human.
You cannot
Parentheses
eat it straight.
pollution.
Though. Oh no.
It
You're
even
losing me.
has it even has underwater magma to keep it heated.
You cannot eat it straight. That is what I'm saying.
Says you.
All right. Well,
But like it's kind
Discovery
of like
Channel,
a Gumbo, though, right? You can pull like a
scientists,
crab
and
out
history,
of it and eat it.
the
Like,
history of people trying to drink.
if you just pull a soft shell crab out of the water, you can eat it.
Yeah. I guess. All right. We're gonna head in
So,
the
have you
stream.
ever had soft shell crab?
Okay. Thanks,
It's
guys.
like eating a potato chip with seafood in it. It's amazing.
Sounds weird, and I hate that.
Seriously, all you do, like, you can seriously just pick like a
okay.
crab out and just go like, boom, eating a crab. It's
can't-
amazing.
I can't handle food that looks like it used to look.
Oh,
Do what?
I have a
But
hard
hot
time with that.
but hot dogs are okay, right?
Oh,
No.
Jesus Christ.
Most meat. I have a problem with meat. It's
Caleb,
not-
I just assumed you cut the feed like an hour
No,
ago.
I'm still trying to end it.
We're still
Oh yeah, so we stream every Sunday for the people that are here.
Okay.
You know,
hey,
we
hey guys,
do that.
we've gone.
I got
pretty-
it, Caleb. Don't worry about it. I got this. Okay, so we do the thing on the Sundays. Sometimes we do other stuff on the weekdays. That depends on Caleb's schedule because he's the only one with a decent enough computer at the moment. Let's see what else. Watch us on Sunday. Follow us on Instagram and the YouTubes and
Yep.
the socials that are listed in the thing.
We
down
have
below
weekly
there.
recaps every week. So if
Oh, yeah,
anyone
that
ever wants
too.
to sit caught up.
And we will get down to the bottom of this ocean soup.
Yep.